going to start with a story. Me standing on top of a 10-meter high diving board for the first time. Looking down, the water very inviting, but my heart is about to stop. What did I get myself into? Why did I say yes to testing out the 10-meter diving board when I've never done it before? My mind going wild, my heart pounding non-stop, and my legs actually frozen. Now what? All eyes are on me. It is so uncomfortable for me to take the next step to jump, to dive. But it is a lot more uncomfortable if I don't jump. Why? How will every one of you look at me after this for not keeping my promise? They don't care whether I was comfortable or uncomfortable. The key important is you promise you will jump. And if you didn't, oh my God, what is our biggest fear for not jumping? The fear of missing out. The fear of being judged. The fear of being less. That is our biggest problem. I mean, a lot of women feel that way. Some men do too, but they don't talk about it. We women, we share and we talked about it. What does it take for me to jump off a 10-meter diving board? Not a lot, actually. All we need is courage, confidence, and be childlike to enjoy that moment, which I know I have. But yet, I'm all frozen here. What should I do next? Should I make a difference? Think about. So if I were to think back, how did I get myself in this position? It was with that uncomfortable conversations that I had with someone when I was supposed to say no, but I say yes. Can you relate to me? With me? How often we say yes instead of saying no? How often we get ourselves in position that is so super uncomfortable? Just give you an example. As a professional speaker, keynote speaker, standing inside this red circle is super uncomfortable for me. Professional speakers do this. We walk. We teach people. We tell people you need to own the stage at every angle, looking at as many customers as you can, as many in the audience as you can. But TED Talk says you have to stay in the red circle. It is uncomfortable for me to not move. But what am I doing? I'm embracing this opportunity to be able to be a speaker for TEDx. So when you look at the hindsight, the great stuff, it's actually not so bad. I just have to learn to stand still instead of moving everywhere whenever I want to. Now, I have something I wanted to share on how can we overcome, how can we learn to embrace uncomfortable. I have this. When we talk about CEO, you're thinking about the boss, right? How many of you here are CEO? How many of you here would like to be CEO? Hey, nobody is raising your hand. You don't care? Right? It's okay to say it. See, it is very uncomfortable to raise your hand. Whenever I say, please raise your hand, people do this. Hello? Raise your hand if you want to be, right? So it's about that simple, uncomfortable action that we stop ourselves from doing. So what is CEO? Start with C. Someone talk about control. In life, at every stage, we go through situations and then you ask yourself, I am so angry that this cannot be done. And then you ask yourself, do I have control? If you have control, what action have you taken? And if you don't have control, Do you know how to let it go? Now, letting go is different from giving up. Letting go is understanding what you can fight for and what you need to just let it go and better use your time for something else that needs your focus. Remember, we only have 24 hours. And often we're telling ourselves we don't have enough time. So why not take control in that decision on what you should spend your time with, especially who you should spend your time with to make a difference? What can, we talk about ROI, right? That is exactly, take control of something that you know you can get some return. And what is E? Very simply put, expectation. We are so super good in putting ourselves in position whereby we're expecting this from you, this from you. How many of you here have teenagers, children? Anybody with teenage children? Right. I'm sure you have expectations of how they should behave, when they should clean their room, when they should keep up all the rubbish that is lying around. But guess what? It is your expectations of them. So what can you do? Pray and hope for the best. So the important thing is when we talk about expectation, yes, I won't say life without expectation is hunky-dory. We need an expectation. We need to set goal. But when you do that, you embrace and wait for things to happen. As long as you give it your best, then you will not be feeling anything but, hey, I've done my best. So managing expectation is about your expectation of others and also your expectation of yourself. Stop sitting on the high horse thinking that you're the best. It's okay to get off the horse once in a while and be real. I know we live in a very, very sensitive society right now, especially with social media. You are seen all the time. How many people here feels very uncomfortable sharing your vulnerability on social media? Most of us shows all the great stuff, the places we visit, the food we eat, the awesome people we meet. But how many people truly share the uncomfortable information? I'm having a sad day. How is it affecting me? How am I changing? How is it working on me? Most people don't do that. We are in this very fast-moving social media world right now. Everything has to look pretty, good, and happy. Of course, we want to make sure that everybody is smiling at all time, right? As my last speaker just shared. That is important, but are you genuinely feeling comfortable to smile? Or are you uncomfortable? I have clients who are entrepreneurial, came and tell me, you know what, I really, really dislike social media. But I said, you're an entrepreneur. If I cannot see you, I cannot find you on social media, how can I buy you? Same thing applies for you in a workspace. Oh, I just want to do my job. I don't want anybody to bother me. It's very uncomfortable for them to shine, for them to raise their hand, for them to have a voice. But then, when it comes to performance appraisal, oh, they miss me out again. Of course they miss you out. You are hiding under the radar all the time. When nobody sees you, nobody is going to promote you or even support you in any way. So expectation, be very aware how you plan your goal, the way you expect it, and the way you're going to deliver it. And the last one is very interesting. Can anybody guess what is the O in CEO? Any guess? Openness, official, what else? Say that again? Operation. No, I'm sorry, I'm not hearing it right. Operations. So the answer is, and we are very good at doing this, Ding, overthink. When was the last time you caught yourself thinking about something for the second time? All the time, correct? So the answer is, if you catch yourself thinking about the situation or something for the second time, and you have not taken an action, that clearly defines you are overthinking and not doing anything about it. And you're not taking control, you're not managing your expectation, hence you are constantly overthinking. We do that so well. Not only do we overthink, we start telling people what we think. We start sharing with friends. Or sharing is fine, but you start venting, ranting about how things doesn't work. But all the person need to do is turn around. So, what have you done about it? Now, the minute somebody asks you, what have you done about it? Do you think you'll be in a comfortable space? A very uncomfortable space. Why? All of a sudden, there is a self-acknowledgement. You have to be aware. You are forced to recognize that I actually didn't do anything about it. I did not take control. So I keep talking about it. So can you see the vicious cycle? So this is what happens when you do not own your own CEO. When we talk about CEO, we talk about the boss. We are in charge. But are you really in charge? So that's the key thing about that. So be ready to embrace the uncomfortable. Are you all ready to be uncomfortable? You know what is the most common uncomfortable situations we have? Someone shared, it's about conversation. Conversations at home with your spouse. When you're not happy, you keep it down. When your husband asks you, what's wrong, honey? It's okay, nothing. That nothing is very important. So not having that conversation, the uncomfortable conversation at home. What about at work? When you know you want that next promotion very badly, and yet you held yourself back because it is so uncomfortable to get out of your shell, to raise your hand and say, hey boss, can we have a chat? I'm truly interested in that role. Even if I'm not ready today, tell me what do I need to prepare myself for that. So conversation at work, asking for the next pay raise. Nobody is ever paid enough, correct? You know, in corporation, I get, oh, I need a pay raise. I say, who doesn't? Everybody needs a pay raise. But you have to be able to justify. Of course, the extreme of uncomfortable is I'm very comfortable asking for a pay raise without putting in the effort. So there's something that we have to be very aware and mindful about. So the other conversations that we have a challenge in and feeling uncomfortable is in society, in networking. Very often we go, okay, a situations like this where we are right now. Are you sitting with someone you know? Are you intentionally going to sit with someone you don't know so that you can get to know them? What is one tip I have for networking? When you're standing there, a glass of wine or whatever in your hand, scan the room, find the loneliest person in the room. Because that person feels just like you. And when you go say hello to that person, they'll be like, oh, thank God. Thanks for being my friend. We all do that. We think about it, we thought about it, but we never take action. So now, my questions to you, for you to take away is, start thinking what is the things that you want to do that is making you so uncomfortable. And from today onward, pick on those things and start to take action and ready to be your own CEO. Thank you, everyone.